Come one, come all, spontaneous views. Appreciate everyone for joining me today. This is going to be a prelude to my Black History series that I'm about to start. But this is going to be a different Black History blog. This is going to be, I'm gonna start a series, and I'm basically going to be playing the devil's advocate when it comes to Black history, quote unquote Black history. I got a few topics, but again, I'm really just going to be freelancing. Y'all forgive me, I got my air on. It's a little warm in Georgia today. Excuse me. We be having weird weather. It'll be 75 degrees one day. Next day it'll be 55. I'm not going to try to get too deep with this video, but I am about to really dive into some things that, need to be talked about. As you know, let me just start off like this. One of the main reasons why I even started this series or thought about this series is because we are duped into this February of being Black History Month. So it's almost like we deal with Black History Month in February and that's it. So me being, a little unorthodox, what I try to do is I try to be a little different. So with me, I'm just basically trying to introduce you to Black History Month in March, April, May, and so forth and so on, to give you an outlook of where I'm coming from. Now, like I said, I'm not going to really get too deep with this. I'm going to touch on a few things about how we're looked at in society, and that's probably where I can start at. First and foremost, when we think about Black History Month, Black History Month wasn't started by Black people, for one. We have certain figures in our community that pose to be in the Black communities, on the Black community side. They might pose this this personality that they may have, and to persuade the quote unquote Black race, I should say, to either, feel like they're doing something for them, like the NAACP. And when you dive into history about the NAACP, how they were started by Jews. And again, I know I'm not trying to use that word loosely, because for some reason, we get kind of scared when we talk about that word, which I'm not saying that word in a derogatory way. I'm just keeping it real. I'm giving you Black history. I'm not talking about the regular Black history, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, and the stuff that they just regurgitate every February. I'm not that kind of dude that's going to do that. That's the whole purpose of me starting this series. But I had to do a prelude video, blog, I should say, about this topic. I'm going to start off like this. Al Sharpton, the Jesse Jacksons, even the Ben Crumps. Ben Crump, think about it. I don't even want to really get on Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, because they had dirt put on them, and they basically was rooting. They was screaming Black power, even though I don't even like the word black, because the word black means nothing in this society. It means nothing. That's another point, but I'll get back to that. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton has done nothing for the Black community. They can pose like they have their little radio shows, or they have their little syndicated radio shows that they have, and they'll pose. Now, I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but notice that they're only doing something after the fact. We still have a George Floyd bill that still hasn't been passed yet. George Floyd has now been deceased, if I'm not mistaken, for almost 6 or 7 years now. I don't know the exact date. If I'm not mistaken, I think his anniversary recently just passed, I think. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, let's look at a Ben Crump. Every young Black teenager that's passed or has gotten killed, I should say, Ben Crump has been the representative for. Now I'm starting to look at this totally different. I'm like, are you telling me that the black community only got one lawyer that can come out and represent a family when it comes to these type of issues? Or like, think about it. Ben Crump, Mike Brown. Ben Crump was on the Trayvon. Ben Crump was I think he was a part of the Tamir Rice campaign. The Jordan, the one that got killed at a gas station for playing his radio too loud, but the white guy that wound up killing him wind up getting time. This black history that we talk about is they just play with it in our face. Now, Ben Crump, I mean, come on, like, you can't tell me that we don't have anyone else to represent the black community when it comes to a tragedy that happens in our community. They obviously don't care, because if they did, black people wouldn't rejoice when we do get justice. It should be something that's normal, but it's not. Yeah, people got happy when I think it was Jordan Davis, the black boy that got killed for playing his radio too loud in Orlando. Yeah, we rejoiced when the white guy got convicted, but it's far few in between. You got Breonna Taylor, for example. They're still doing rallies for that situation, because what kind of Black History Month are we representing? And I'm not blaming the black community. I just feel like we need more of a voice. People are doing things, but it's not going nowhere. Breonna Taylor got killed basically from police officers breaking into her house. And from my understanding, these officers have still not been convicted. So this is in Kentucky. And we know what time Kentucky is. We know what type of time Kentucky on. I don't understand why. Well, hold on, let me take that back. I understand why black people, quote unquote black people, and again, I don't like that term. I don't like the term black, because if we really think about, if we go to any, if you could put it in a Moorish science temple aspect. Not that I'm a Moor, but I know of the temple. I know certain practices that they do. I'm not a Moor though, but I do a lot of research. So, you know, the Moors don't classify. They don't look at you as being black. They know that, you know, the word black in this society, it is not a nationality. So if you're filling out a job application and you're labeling yourself African American black, they already know that you don't have any say-so in the society. Now let's go even deeper. We can go to the Constitution. As we speak, as the so-called 2024, the Constitution of this country still labels black people 3/4 of a human being, which means that you're less of half of a human being. Or is it 1/4? It's something weird to where we're not even classified as a human being. I don't know if it's 3/4, 1/4, regardless of what it is. It's crazy to even have that in a Declaration of Independence, a so-called Constitution. But yet we allow. Now understand this. We were fighting for so-called freedom, right? But what type of freedom were we really fighting for? Because if you look at the past history, especially of America, not that I'm saying that there wasn't slaves, but everybody was not slaves. You're not going to tell me that every black family that originated on this on the Western Hemisphere, and I'm not talking about coming from no Africa, I'm talking about that resonated here on this soil, did not come from no slave background. And when you look at the word slave, if you do research and if you parallel what they're telling us and what really happened, you would know that a slave was just an indentured servant. There was a person that worked for a corporate. The same thing that we do now when we go to work, you just not called a slave, but you still have slave tendencies. So slavery is still around. The jail cells have slavery, modern day slavery. It's a big billion-dollar industry. You got child trafficking now, billion-dollar industry. The majority of these children are black. Now, just for the sake of the blog, I'm going to say the word black, and being that this is a prelude to where I'm going to take this series at, I'm going to name it this, but I'm letting you know within the blog that the word black don't mean shit. And I'm not meaning to curse, but I have to emphasize on that aspect. On that point, that is a fact. I'm not here to blab about people waking up, because this is my motto when it comes to people waking up. Your alarm clock is going to go off at any time that you want it to. What I mean by that is everybody wakes up at a different time. It's all about me dropping a seed in you for you to just to give you a different perspective of how we are as quote unquote black people. You know, we're discombobulated when it comes to nationality, where we're from. We're so mixed up. And to be honest with you, religion didn't help either. And it's funny that I'm saying that, and I actually go to church. And not only do I go to church, I am actually a teacher elect, where I actually do some. Well, I only did one, like a teaching sermon in front of the congregation. I did pretty well. I have another one coming up in a week or so. It's already prepared. But sometimes you have to use your talent in different ways to get what you want. And when it comes to religion, the only way you can wake people up or get people out of a spell, you have to go within that organization. You can't be outside of an organization and thinking you're going to change them. No, you have to go within. You have to see where they're at and just plant seeds. I'm just planting seeds. Now, of course, the topics that I teach about, it's not on this particular aspect, because of course, when you're in a church forum, you're not going to really talk about politics and let's be honest, the church is not really ready to hear real history, because just think of a person being in the church for 30, 40, 50 years, and now you're introducing something different to them. And it's not really different. It's just a different aspect. The stories and stuff that we've heard in the Bible. Well, you hear Kemetic people, which is African people. They say it was stolen from the original story of ancient Egypt. So it doesn't really matter if it's the only thing different is it's been whitewashed. So that's another damaging aspect when it comes to black history. Our history has been whitewashed. I don't know if it's true. I haven't done much research, but you can look at all these painters, like these Michelangelos, like all these people, Beethovens and stuff. I'm hearing stuff, not hearing, but I'm researching stuff that these people were black and they were whitewashed. I've heard stories about Abraham Lincoln being black, but again, I'm not really trying to go that deep, especially with this first video. You know, I'm just giving you an introduction of where I'm going to be taking things. I think that is necessary. I don't really see too much people doing it. I think we focused on black history in February, but I'm being the devil's advocate when it comes to black history. We are on a hamster wheel when it comes to politics. When it comes to saying we're going to do stuff, that's the problem. We know what, we can get on the forum or we can get in a room and we can discuss and have brilliant ideas. But until that money start to play a part, that's when it breaks down. And look at the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party, family, fell apart because of informants. You had people posing to be with the fight, and they were just going back telling whoever the bosses that be what was going on. That's how come, for example, Fred Hampton. That's how come they knew exactly what hit the Fred Hampton moves. They knew everything because it was an informant. So the problem with the black community trying to come together and do stuff is when we finally get to do stuff, we have informants we got to worry about. Then they start doing like with Marcus Garvey. He got hit from mail fraud. Something simple that was somebody that was in his clique, in his little organization that did it. It was mail fraud. Then he got demoted, and I'm not gonna get too deep into Marcus Garvey. Again, this is just a prelude because I can just talk about one thing and just go into a whole nother chamber of information, but I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm just trying to give you the point of how we try to come together, how we try to build organizations. And I'm not saying we don't have any. We have a lot of great organizations that's out that's benefiting the black race. But if the same cycle is still going on in our community, like gentrification, we can't stop that. I don't care what group you put together, you're not going to stop gentrification. You're not going to stop the selling of drugs in your community, the selling of guns, child trafficking. That's not going to stop because it's a big money organization. Those are big money organizations. And as long as you have the boule, yeah, I'm going to pause on that one. Like I said, I'm about to light it up with this Black History thing, yo. I'm about to light it up. You know what I'm saying? You know, but this is just an introduction. I'm just letting y'all know what's about to come up. But my first video, you know, I want to be more in a formal area. I might start shooting these in the house. And it's going to be brief. It's going to be, I'm going to try to do, you know, no more than 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25, depending on how the topic go. Because I can kind of, you know what I'm saying? I can kind of go, you know what I'm saying? And I want to be truthful, but I also want to be stern in my approach. And the only way I can do that is if I'm not looking up, because I'm an observant person. So I'm outside, I'm waiting, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Like, I'm almost in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Not just the hood. I'm in the hood. And it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I'm equipped for this, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just giving y'all the prelude to what's about to happen. I'm going to be starting a Black History series, and I'm going to be the devil's advocate. And I need y'all to tune in for this. This is going to be deep, family. Be on the lookout for my I got a flat earth vid. I know it's been a while since I did a flat earth video. But be on the lookout for that too. I'm gonna squeeze a flat earth in between these you know, these series. Also, I started another channel, a sports channel. I was gonna actually drop a video on that channel, but the topic I was going to talk about, I had it open for about a month or two now. I was going to talk about the Super Bowl, but I was like, nah, I'll wait till the NBA Finals, or the NBA playoffs, I should say. That might be my first vid on the sports channel. But the name of that channel is Spontaneous Sports Views. I'm going to need y'all to check that out. Because like I said, I can talk about many topics. I can start at least 4 channels if I want to. And it have a different topic for each one. But anyway, I don't want to be too long-winded. This is my prelude, Black History Month, Devil's Advocate. Y'all tune in. I'm going to be dropping it. Give me another week or so. It's going to be dropping. Y'all going to have to tune in for this. Like, subscribe, share. I'm that new one. Come on, come on.